Item 11, County Administration Update, Dr. Casey.
Good evening, members of the board and the public that's here and the public that is watching. I have 6 items underneath my comments. I'd like to have George Hayes come to the podium to address what, again, many of us had our full attention on over the last 2 weeks or so in regards to the regional water issues and water supply and distribution, for which, prior to Mr. Hayes starting, is again, if the public's not aware of not just Mr. Hayes and his engineering background and professional recognition, everyone he has hired, again, in the fixing of water main breaks, when and if they occur, as well as the supply of water that's quality, and then the distribution and the redundancy of that throughout Chesterfield County is a vital quality of life attribute for which this county has been recognized and has actually been a regional partner in helping those across county lines to the best of our abilities. Mr. Hayes.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I do want to thank you for this opportunity to come before you and provide you an update on the status of our public water system. Before I get into the update on Chesterfield's actions that we took following the power outage and subsequent flooding of the City of Richmond's water plant on Monday, January 6th, I'm happy to report that Chesterfield County's public water system continues to operate as designed. The status of our water tanks and supply systems remain normal, and we continue to meet all of our customers' needs in providing safe and reliable drinking water, as we have done since the beginning of this incident. To understand a little bit about the actions that the Department of Utilities took during this incident, you need to have a general understanding of our water distribution system and our treatment plants. As this board knows, Chesterfield County is extremely fortunate to get its drinking water supply from 3 different sources, as well as 3 different treatment plants. The Swift Creek Reservoir is treated by the Addison Evans Water Treatment Plant. The James River is treated by the City of Richmond's Water Treatment Plant, and Lake Chesden is treated by the Appomattox River Water Authority. These 3 sources and treatment plants provide a tremendous amount of reliability and redundancy. As an example, these 3 water sources have drainage basins in different geographic areas of the state. So when we experience a drought or a natural disaster like flooding events in Virginia, each of these 3 sources may be impacted differently. The 3 separate treatment plants also supply another layer of reliability and redundancy for Chesterfield County. In addition, Chesterfield Utilities has significantly invested in our water distribution system. We currently have a robust water distribution system that interconnects these 3 water supplies, that provides us flexibility in operating our system and the ability to move water from any of our sources throughout our water distribution network. We also invest in generator backup power for all our critical water facilities, and this includes the numerous water pump stations that we have throughout our distribution system. Chesterfield Utilities supplies water to approximately 123,000 customer accounts, serving a population of 360,000. In preparation for the anticipated storm event, the county activated the Virtual Emergency Operations Center starting on Sunday, January 5th, which was also manned by the Department of Utilities. Our department also took our normal preventative maintenance measures for the storm. All our critical facilities were ready. Chemical tanks and fuel tanks were checked and full, and all our generators were tested. Prior to this event, we had our Addison Evans Water Treatment Plant offline for some scheduled rehabilitation projects at that facility. Knowing we had one of our 3 water sources offline, on Saturday, January 4th, I personally made effective contact with the Executive Director of Appomattox River Water Authority and the Director of the Utilities of Richmond to ensure they are aware of our water status, and requested that I be contacted if any issues would happen that could impact Chesterfield County's water supply. On the morning of Monday, January 6th at approximately 7 a.m., Chesterfield Utilities was alerted to the power outage at the City of Richmond's water treatment plant, and we were asked to limit our water usage while the city assessed the situation, as they knew Chesterfield County had multiple water sources. Chesterfield began the process early that morning by reducing the supply to help the city maintain its limited capacity. Chesterfield, and it would also protect our citizens if something were to happen. Chesterfield was then notified approximately 8:11, so about an hour and 11 minutes after we were notified the power outage went down. We were notified at 8:11 a.m. that the power to the plant was restored. Later in the day, around 2:45 p.m. during a regional call, Chesterfield was first made aware that the City of Richmond's water plant remained offline all day. Their water plant experienced flooding, and their water tank reserves were continuing to decline. At that time, Chesterfield Utilities isolated its water distribution system from the City of Richmond's water supply by shutting down all 3 points of entry into the county. This allowed the city to retain their limited water capacity to help them get through this incident, while also mitigating any risk for Chesterfield County water customers. The county's water supply was isolated before the city announced their conservation efforts, as well as their boil water advisory. Although Appomattox River Water Authority could adequately feed the current low winter demands during the entire system for Chesterfield County, having a second supply would provide redundancy if we had any unforeseen operational issues. At approximately 3:12 p.m. on Monday, the Department of Utilities began to work with our contractors on a plan to get the Addison Evans Water Treatment Plant back online. Our contractors were directed and worked throughout the night on Monday night to finish the needed pipe work at our plant, and our staff stayed throughout the night to get that facility back up and running, and we had that plant back online producing clean potable water on Tuesday, January 7th at 2:20 p.m. Our staff's ability to work with our contractors and bring our water plant back online in less than 24 hours speaks volumes about our employees' dedication and expertise. Monday evening, Richmond requested resources from the Central Virginia Incident Management Team to help coordinate and restore its municipal water supply system. The Central Virginia Incident Management Team is a regional team that includes members from Chesterfield County Fire, EMS, and Chesterfield Police. Chesterfield Utilities for this incident was also part of that team. Additionally, Chesterfield Fire and EMS responded and deployed a 2,500-gallon water tanker truck and crews to Chippenham Hospital to help with the continued operation of its boilers, while the other systems were affected by low incoming water pressure from the city. As reported by the media, on Tuesday, January 7th, Hanover County had a boiler water advisory for the system due to pressure loss. On Wednesday, January 8th, Henrico County and Eastern Goochland County issued boil water advisories due to loss of pressure in the Henrico County system. Until the boil water advisories were lifted on Saturday, January 11th, for these 4 major jurisdictions in the Richmond region, Chesterfield County was the only large water utility in the area that had potable water. Chesterfield worked with our regional partners, VDEM, and private contractors to supply potable water from our water system via tanker trucks to be delivered to the various trauma centers and hospitals in the Richmond area. This included the VCU Trauma Center and also the Veterans Administration Hospital in Richmond. The most frequent question I get from our customers, and I've got a lot of phone calls and a lot of questions, is when the city of Richmond was having issues with their water plant, how was it possible that Chesterfield County Utilities isolated their water system so quickly? Earlier, I spoke about the investments we made in our infrastructure and all the improvements we made over the years. The one investment I have not spoken about is the investment in our employees. Chesterfield Utilities, with the support of our Human Resources Department, have attracted and retained the highest quality water and wastewater professionals who ensure we properly operate and maintain our utility system. I can tell you I've been in the water industry for 33 years, and it is a true honor to serve alongside some of the most highest and talented water and wastewater professionals in the industry. At Chesterfield Utilities, our staff have developed robust emergency operations plans for every emergency situation we can imagine for our utility. As an example, we have standard operating procedures for the loss of the City of Richmond supply, where our staff can step by step have a guide to isolate the City of Richmond supply. In addition to having the needed emergency standard operating procedures, our staff ensure all the components of our system that are needed to implement the emergency operations plan are regularly inspected, accessible, and maintained. The reason we're able to isolate the city supply so quickly was because our employees were knowledgeable, well-trained, and had the resources we needed to timely and successfully implement our emergency operations plan. Department of Utilities would not have been successful in this event without the support of so many other departments. I just wanted to take a brief opportunity to thank Chief Center and Jessica Robinson with the Fire and EMS Department for their support through this incident and the Emergency Operations Center. I also want to thank Teresa Bonifest and Dave Good, along with all the employees in the Department of Constituent and Media Services, who did a fantastic job in timely communicating the status with our customers and also responding to all meter inquiries so that utilities could focus all our resources on transitioning our water supplies, standing up the Addison Evans Water Treatment Plant, and assisting the region with their water needs. I also want to thank the staff at the Appomattox River Water Authority, especially their Executive Director, Robert Wilson. Rob and I remained in constant contact throughout this incident to ensure that we continue to provide safe and reliable water service to all our customers. The Appomattox River Water Authority, along with Chesterfield County and other jurisdictions in the region, also sent water operators, so ARWA and Chesterfield, along with others, sent water operators to the Richmond plant to operate that plant during this incident. And finally, I want to thank County Administration and this board for always supporting the Department of Utilities for both our infrastructure and our employees' needs. Without the support from the top, we would not be successful. Chesterfield County Utilities is in daily contact and continues to work with the City of Richmond as they rebuild their water treatment plant and review their water distribution system. We also are committed to working with the recently appointed interim utility director, Dr. Scott Morris, and are confident in his abilities to take the needed corrective action by both the water treatment plant and the water distribution system. As this board knows, Scott Morris worked for Chesterfield County Utilities for 10 years before he worked for DEQ starting in 2022. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be more than happy to take any questions the board may have.
Board members, any comments or questions?
As always, George, you did a great job, and it's good to have seniority and knowledge on our half, and have such a wonderful resource for the rest of the region as well to ask for help when they need it. So I wish we would all have that much foresight of planning. So thank you so much. And hopefully this is a learning lesson for all of the other localities. So thank you so much.
Mr. Chair. I think all you need to do is tune into the local news or the national news and understand the value of water, not just for drinking, which we all depend on every day when you open the faucet for something to come out that's drinkable, but also for our fire hydrants. We're very blessed and lucky that Richmond didn't suffer a similar crisis to what California's suffering. If they'd had a structure fire downtown with no ability to move water into the standpipe systems, sprinkler systems, we're very blessed that nothing happened. And yes, as Ms. Schneider said, we are very fortunate to have tremendous employees working for us who know what they're doing, who look at contingencies, look at down the road, long-term, what needs to be done. And of course, we're working on a fourth water supply right now. We're in the process of getting that in the tidal basin, which you've mentioned before many times here, which will only make us stronger, not just for us as a community, but also for the region. So again, I know we were at the all staff the other day to thank your employees in person, but as always, please pass it along because every day we hear good things about what utilities does, including, I mean, Mr. Engel even had a story about some people in your shop that got called on Christmas Day to fix a leak and took care of it.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We were at an event
last week about Martin Luther King. And one of the speakers said that we get inundated with a lot of information, and we sometimes confuse information for knowledge. And so I couldn't help but think about you in that moment and our utility team. And you are getting all this information, which then leads to knowledge, but ultimately leads to wisdom. And the team, you described it perfectly, was in that wisdom place. They knew, you knew what needed to happen to keep everybody safe and to make it right. And when this whole thing was unfolding early on, there was never a time where I didn't feel like we were all being held by our utility team. And I penned off a very quick email. I didn't think I could say it any more than just say, I am so proud in this moment to be part of Chesterfield. And I'm so grateful, and I speak for 360,000 customers, for the work you all did. We couldn't be more grateful.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
Well, you shared a lot about your team, and they absolutely did a fantastic job. But it starts at the top, and the knowledge that you have at the top, and the gut feeling you had to not know if it was the right thing or not, but to say, I just need to do this, and to shut the water off while we were still under pressure was tremendous. This board has talked, we've shared with Dr. Casey that there's a merit award that we want to have Dr. Casey work to get to you, and we've verified that there's some opportunity for you to be able to do that for some of your staff that was key in making this work. That's a very small token from a very appreciative community for keeping us up and running during a time where all of the other major utilities around us didn't. I don't even know how we can thank you enough, but that's a start and a thank you. And what you do, as Mr. Carroll said, as much as I was touched by that, the letter that we received or the email that we received from the community that said on Christmas Day at 7 a.m. they thought they had an antifreeze leak on their truck. They went out to look and they realized the water was coming up out of the road. So they called the utilities number, emergency number, expecting to leave a message to get a call back at some point in time. And within 1 hour, well, first off, when they called, a person answered the phone and took their information. Within 1 hour, a supervisor was on site. This is 8 o'clock on Christmas morning. And by 8:30, they were digging up the road to fix the leak. That was incredible service that we keep on hearing over and over and over again coming from your department. And we're just grateful to have the utilities department that we do. And I think we owe him a standing ovation.
Mr. Chairman, board members, thank you so much. And I just, on behalf of the Department of Utilities and our employees, we can't thank you enough for the support that the board gives to our department. The public may not know this, but twice a year we have all staffs, and almost every all staff, we almost have every board member comes to the all staff to thank our employees and shake their hands for what they do, and that means a lot to our employees. We appreciate the recognition, we appreciate the words, and we appreciate in times not of crisis, you're there to support our employees. And thank them for the job they do, not just in times of crisis, but every single day. So I just, on behalf of our employees, I want to thank you for what you do and the support of the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes.